What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today, and in this video we are at Oklahoma City Will Rogers World Airport for the 12th airport update for the month of October 2022. First off, I do want to apologize about the lighting situation. Some things were reorganized down here, and this has resulted in the Oklahoma City Airport table having to be moved to another location, and it's not necessarily in the best location with the best lighting, so I'm going to try and fix that whilst I'm editing, so let me know how it looks. But just from the looks of it, the lighting's not going to be the greatest. So again, I'll have to make those edits done. I'll have to make those changes to the lighting whilst I'm editing, so that way it's a little bit better to view for you guys. But we're going to go and hop into this update as we will continue with this situation here. I'll try to see if I can get it moved again back into a more better lighting area for next month's update if I do decide to do one. With Thanksgiving coming up and obviously Christmas, holidays are going to start coming in. Finals are also going to start coming in as well. I'm going to be pretty busy, so we're just going to have to prepare for that. But anyways, let's get into this update. Starting off at Gate 11 with this United Express CRJ200 in the Evo Blue livery. This aircraft arrived in on a service from Houston on flight 4731 operated by SkyWest at 1:53 p.m. ahead of a scheduled 1:58 p.m. arrival. I do notice it is a Charlie Alpha suffix for the registration, so it does make me wonder. I think this might have been an ex-com airplane, just judging by the CA, because that's what a lot of the CA, or what a lot of the com airplanes had back in the day, especially when they were with Delta for a time. So that could be the case, but it might not be. I'll do a little research on that, and I'll pop up some of the little history about this particular plane, because it is interesting to see that CA, because I think I featured this plane before, or at least a flight that had that aircraft, 494 Charlie Alpha, on a flight that I'm using in an airport update. So without further ado, let's go ahead and continue. At gate number 9, we had this United Express CRJ200 in the Continental Globe livery. This aircraft arrived in on a service from Chicago O'Hare, flight 5555, a nice 5555, operated by SkyWest, touching down at 3:07 p.m. ahead of a scheduled 3:12 p.m. arrival. Nothing much to mention here, really. I will talk about some of the mainline stuff, some like aircraft changes as well, because I'm using a new source called PassWriter.com. I've been recommended this source by a couple of people that I figured that I would probably use to my advantage just to provide some more information in my airport updates. I'll definitely be utilizing this in future airport updates. Parked at Gate 5, we had this United Express Embraer 175 in the Evo Blue livery. So we've got a nice full United lineup here on the north side of the western part of the terminal here. This aircraft arrived in on a service from Denver, flight 4801, operated by SkyWest, touching down at 7:57 p.m. ahead of a scheduled 8:11 p.m. arrival. And right here at Gate 3, we have this beauty right here. This is the first time I'm using this in an airport update, the United 737 MAX 9, coming in from Houston George Bush Intercontinental on flight 2298. So this might be one of those one-off flights that United likes to have every now and then. Now, when I was looking through PassWriter.com, so just going to get a little off track here. I'll talk a little bit more about this in another airport update here in the next couple weeks. Sioux Falls is actually going to get a 737 MAX 9 from United on December the 14th. So I'll pop up a screenshot here of what that looks like, because it is a very interesting scenario, and it is going to be a one-off flight, because after that it will go back to a regular 737 800 or 900 depending on the scenario. But as of right now, Chicago Mainline for Sioux Falls on 738 and the Denver Mainline's on a 739. So I'll talk a little bit more about this in the Sioux Falls Airport update for November, and I'll definitely try to get that represented if the flight stays on a 737 MAX 9, because we all know that aircraft swaps can happen at the last minute. So I would not be surprised if that flight does get swapped back to a 739 or 738, depending on what they decide to use for December, which I think they're stuck with a 739 for now. But this aircraft, like I said, coming in from Houston, this is on the late night flight, 11:06 p.m. arrival, ahead of a scheduled 11:19 p.m. arrival, so pretty nice to see here from United Airlines. Moving on to the American section here, we've got a pretty decent lineup here with more mainline this time than American Eagle planes. So we'll go ahead and start off right over here at gate number 4 with this American Airbus A319. This aircraft arrived in on a service from Charlotte, flight 2942, touching down at 2:43 p.m., a little bit behind a 2:27 p.m. scheduled arrival time, so that is about a 16-minute delay for this aircraft. Parked at Gate 6, we have this American Eagle CRJ700. This aircraft arrived in on a service from Dallas-Fort Worth International, flight 3285, operated by SkyWest, touching down at 3:47 p.m. ahead of a scheduled 4:05 p.m. arrival. So nothing much here to note other than the fact that we do have this American Eagle flight in this update. What is a bit significant to note, though, is the Dallas Mainline service from Oklahoma City. So, unfortunately, the A321neo no longer operating on the OKC to DFW Mainline for American. It is now on a 738, which is very much more common, rather. And thankfully, I do finally have an American 738, which I've used a handful of times in various updates, including a couple of Oklahoma City updates. But I think this is the first time I've had it positioned at the terminal. So this aircraft arrived in from Dallas-Fort Worth as expected, flight 868. This is the about 2 p.m.-ish service. So this touched down at 1:36 p.m. ahead of a scheduled 1:55 p.m. arrival. At gate 12, we had this Frontier Airbus A320neo. This aircraft arrived in on a service from Denver, flight 466, touching down at 7:21 p.m. around a 7:20 p.m. scheduled arrival. It's only behind by just 1 full minute. Nice setup for Southwest Mainline. We actually got a third aircraft just off frame here, and there it is there at the right of your screen, a nice Canadian blue plane. We'll go ahead and look at this aircraft first, parked here at gate 16, with the Southwest 737-700 in the Hurt livery with the blended winglets. Let's try to get that camera there, a little bit more centered on that plane. There we go. This aircraft arrived in on a service from Denver, flight 900, touching down at 8:10 a.m. ahead of a scheduled 8:20 a.m. arrival. Now, I do see that Denver will have a 737 MAX 8 service. So again, here's that pass writer screenshot that I was referencing, as I've already shown you here on a couple of other services that I wanted to mention regarding different aircraft operations and all that fun stuff. Thankfully, we do have a MAX in this update. We do have the Southwest 737 MAX 8 parked here at gate 18. This aircraft arrived in on a service from St. Louis, flight 1952, arriving in at 11:22 p.m., delayed from a 10:55 p.m. scheduled arrival, so around half an hour or so, a little under half an hour of a delay for this aircraft. But nice to see the MAX that we have here. So nice maximum love, as we have the two 737 MAXs, MAX 8 from Southwest and a MAX 9 from United Airlines. I do want to apologize about the camera angle here. There is some stuff that is interfering with space on the other side of the table here, so I can't move it easily. It's pretty big stuff, so we're just going to have to work with this camera angle for the moment. I'll try to move back over to where I was originally located to get some of the other stuff, even the Delta services, down at the newer section of the terminal. But right here at gate 20, we have the Southwest 737-800 in the Canyon Blue livery. First time I've used this aircraft in a little while for Oklahoma City. This aircraft arrived in on a service from Chicago Midway, flight 1592, very similar to the St. Louis service in terms of the flight number, or in reference to the flight number, as I like to say. That one was 1952, so you just flip the 5 and the 9 around, a bit interesting there. This is also another late night flight. This arrived in at 11:19 p.m., ahead of a scheduled 11:55 p.m. arrival. So definitely a lot of late night talking going on in this video in reference to all of the late night flights that we're seeing here. So pretty interesting to see. So kind of going with the late night theme here, which kind of fits with the lighting scenario. But then again, I'm just going to fix that in editing because I don't want this to be a really crappy video in reference to the lighting. Parked at gate 22 this time, we have an Allegiant Airbus A319. I think this is the first time I've had them here at gate 22, but also have some services that I've had for Allegiant out of gate 10 that I've represented in past Oklahoma City airport updates. Unfortunately, gate 24 no longer occupied, as Breeze, unfortunately, is no longer here, at least for the time being. This aircraft arrived in on a service from Las Vegas, flight 34, arriving in at 4:20 p.m., delayed from a 2:59 p.m. scheduled arrival, so another major Allegiant delay for this particular flight. So that is over an hour or so, close to a 90-minute delay. So unfortunately for the folks on this flight, probably not having a good time right now, so that's kind of unfortunate with this flight, but it is what it is. And then, of course, we'll take a look here at the Delta stuff in the background. So there you see it right there. I have it on manual focus, that's why it's not focusing right away. And there it goes. It's going to have a little bit of a fit trying to find an applicable scenario to focus on here, but I'll try to get the camera readjusted a little bit so that way we have a bit more of an applicable setup. I'll just go ahead and have both the Delta aircraft in the frame. I'll go ahead and put the focus on the Delta 717 towards closer to the bottom of your screen here at gate 26. This aircraft arrived in on a service from Atlanta, flight 2395, arriving in at 5:39 p.m. ahead of a scheduled 5:58 p.m. arrival. So our Atlanta mainline service is here, pretty much unchanged. There's also A320 service that I saw as well, but I figured I'd throw in the 717 because I think it's been a little while since I've had the 717 here at OKC. So nice to see this here from Delta Airlines. And then closer to the top of your screen at gate 28, we have this Delta Connection CRJ 900. This aircraft arrived in on a service from New York LaGuardia, flight 5445, operated by Endeavor Air, arriving in at 6:29 p.m. ahead of a scheduled 7:13 p.m. arrival. So this flight previously I did feature as an Embraer 170 when that had to divert to Indianapolis for an unknown reason, and eventually continue to Oklahoma City. And of course, Salt Lake City is on a Delta Connection Embraer 175 with enhanced winglets. Gemini jets. Where in the world is that model? I am running out of ways to tell you guys to make it, so I have to get really creative here. So if you can think of creative ways that I could tell Gemini jets to make a Delta Connection Embraer 175, please let me know in the comments. But again, please, Gemini jets, make that model before I run out of ways to tell you guys to make it, because it is just getting a little frustrating that we don't have that made yet in 400 scale, or even in 200 scale. I could care less if it's in a 200 scale first. That just shows, and then the 400 scale guys will then get it very soon. So I at least hope that's the case for December or even into 2023, because at this point I just want that plane so bad. It's so gosh darn bad. It's just unbelievable that the fact that it has not been made yet. I can't talk today, my goodness. This is why I don't record airport updates early in the morning. I've only been up for maybe a couple of hours, but thankfully I have woken up enough to where I can do this video. But like I was saying, Delta Connection Embraer 175, Gemini jets, please get on that ASAP. And then, as a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if that model has already been produced and it's just sitting in their warehouse and they're just waiting for the right time to make that model, or at least have it be officially announced to the public, and then it's available for all of us to enjoy. But that's everything we have here at the terminal, so I'm just gonna not talk about that Delta Connection Embraer 175 anymore, and we'll go ahead and focus on a couple of other aircraft taxiing. Taxiing out of the terminal, either parked at gate 6 or 8, was one of the two. We have this American Eagle Embraer 175 going to be heading out to Austin, Texas today on flight 4244, operated by Envoy Air. Nice to see the Austin, Texas services. They're really starting to pick up here. I've seen an A321 on this service as well. It was an IAE one when I looked at the flight board. So pretty nice to see that, and I will make sure to get an IAE A321. I'll try to see if I can get my hands on the flagship Valor one, because that'd be awesome to have in my collection. Also be really awesome to see at some point. But this aircraft departed at 6:59 p.m., delayed from a 5:45 p.m. scheduled departure time. So that is a delay of around an hour, so a little over an hour. I think that's an hour and, yeah, an hour and 14 minutes. So 74 minutes if you add that up. And then finally, to round out the update, taxiing to the cargo ramp, we have this FedEx Airbus A300. This aircraft arrived in on a service from Memphis, flight 347, at 4:41 p.m., ahead of a scheduled 4:57 p.m. arrival. And that'll do it for Oklahoma City for this month. I'll just go ahead and put the camera at the Southwest Allegiant section. So pretty interesting stuff going on here, obviously with the lighting, and again, I had to make some changes whilst I was editing the video, just so that way it's a little bit easier to see everything, because again, the lights up here, they're not very, what's the word I'm looking for, ideal for filming YouTube videos like these. Usually I have it in another part of this room where it's a lot brighter, and it's definitely more applicable for these kinds of videos, but unfortunately, due to some reorganization efforts that took place down here, this has resulted in the table having to be relocated. But hopefully for the November OKC update, I'll try to get that moved back into that better lighting area, just for that update, and then try to get it back over here into an area so that way it's not clogging things up and whatnot. So things are reorganized, a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah. So with that being said, that is the end of the video. I hope you still enjoyed the editing that I had to make for the lighting here in this update, but that'll do it. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.